Good morning. I'm Rob Craig Coleman, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading Sunday morning's worship. I'm a member of the worship arts team, and my pronouns are he and him. On a day for proclaiming that social justice is about love, it is important to remember that we choose to share our pronouns because we know people of all genders are wholly, whole, and loved. We welcome you here today as we join together to create a space where we nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and help heal our world. If this is your first time with us, we are so happy you've joined us. If you're watching the service online at 10 a.m. on March the 2nd, please visit our webpage at uureading.org to learn more about our beloved community. That's also where you can connect with our staff. If you're here in the sanctuary, please speak to any of the folks you see up here on the chancel. You can do so out in Fellowship Hall after the service, where we will be all gathering for some social time. And now we have a message from our pledge team.
Good morning. I'm A.J. Heidkamp, and I'm here this morning to kick off the pledge drive. This is the 9th time that I've run the pledge drive. Thank you. And over the years, I've realized a couple of things. Number one, for me, this first Sunday of March is like UUCR's version of Groundhog Day. And number two, I'm the groundhog. And just so you know, when I got up this morning, I saw my shadow. Means the pledge drive is going to last for 6 more weeks. This is an exciting time here at UUCR. There's lots of positive energy, and we have an exciting future ahead of us. We can be proud of all that we've accomplished together. We've overcome many challenges in the past few years, and we've learned that by working together, we can handle whatever comes our way. We are resilient and we are strong. So we've chosen Staying Strong Together as our theme this year. We've been blessed to have Reverend Laura as our minister for the past 3 years. The congregation has flourished during your time with us. Your sermons are thought-provoking and inspiring, and you've introduced creative new ways of worship, and you're passionate about social justice. Your guidance, encouragement, and support have been a gift to us all. Thank you. Reverend Laura's time with us is now coming to an end, and over the last few months, dozens of you have been working tirelessly to prepare for our ministerial search. Our search packet is now up on the UUA website, and the search team will begin reviewing applications soon. One of the goals identified during the search process is a strong desire for the church to achieve financial stability. Your pledge will help make that happen. UUCR receives no outside funding. We are self-governed and self-financed, so it's up to us, all of us, to pay the church's expenses. Your contributions are essential to paying our staff a living wage, keeping our programs running, and our community thriving. And that's what the pledge drive is about. It's by far UUCR's largest source of income and provides the funds for our church's day-to-day operations. During the pledge drive, we ask that all of our members and friends make a financial commitment, a pledge, to support the church for the coming year. Knowing how much you plan to contribute helps us budget responsibly for the future. The good news is that we're on track to being able to cover our operating costs this year, thanks in large part to the long-term rental of flooring to the Rosebud Daycare Center. We also received a major boost from the record-breaking Kris Kringle Fair. And as you heard last week at the Governing Board update, a new fund has been set up to receive capital donations to address issues with our property and aging infrastructure. But we know that our FY26 expenses are going to increase based on the cost of recruiting and hiring our new minister, increased maintenance costs, and inflation. Our goal this year is to raise $350,000. To do that, we need everyone to make a pledge. So here's what we ask. If you're already pledging, please consider increasing your pledge by 10 to 20%. That will not only help us reach our goal, it will make up for those who aren't in a position to make a 10% increase at this time. If 10% isn't possible for you, please consider a 3 to 5% increase to help us keep up with inflation. For a $2,400 pledge, that would be an increase of $70 to $120 per year, or about $5 to $10 per month. If you haven't started pledging yet, please consider making your first pledge this year. It's an excellent way to make a deeper commitment to the church community and help support all the great things that happen here. For more information about pledging, please see the Pledge Drive FAQ on the church's website, or see me or one of the other pledge team members at Social Hour. We're going to email each of you a pledge packet in the next few days. Please read it carefully and reflect on all that UUCR means to you. Then, click on the link and submit your pledge online. Every pledge, large and small, will be gratefully received. Just to make sure everyone's clear on the process, the pledge that you make now is for next church year. You make your actual payments between July 1st, this July 1st, and June 30th of next year. And we ask that you submit a pledge, even if your pledge amount will stay the same next year, just so we know that you plan to continue. UUCR brings together people of all ages, all backgrounds, and many beliefs. Caring for one another and the wider community is at the heart of everything we do. Together, we create a space where we can grow spiritually and build a loving community, working for more justice and more love in our own lives and in the world. And your pledge will help make that vision a reality. We are grateful for your generosity. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Rob. Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Laura Solomon. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am the minister here at UUCR, and it is a privilege to serve this community and the world with you. I invite you to take a breath. Allow yourself to arrive here in this space. We gather this morning to bring our attention to the work of love and justice. This year, our newly formed Love is a Verb team, headed by Tirza and Bob Mason, has been working to lift up our commitment to social justice through meeting, through listening to the congregation, to hear what matters are on your minds and hearts. I would like to invite Anne Mark forward to offer our opening words.
Good morning. My name is Anne Mark. My pronouns are she and her. And I have been involved in social action at UUCR along with many, many others throughout the years since the early 1980s. I invite you into worship this morning with this quote from Jack Mendelson. Here in this sanctuary of ancient dreams and wisdom and beauty, we come to grow, to be healed, to stretch mind and heart, to be challenged, renewed, to be helped in our own continuing struggles for meaning and for love, to help build a world with more justice and mercy in it, to be counted among the hopers and doers. In the face of cynicism, darkness, brutality around us and within, we seek to align ourselves with a living community that would affirm rather than despair, that would think and act rather than simply adjust and succumb. Here we invite the spirit of our own humanity and the healing powers under, around, through, and beyond it to give us the nerve and grace, the toughness and sensitivity to search out the truth that frees and a life that maketh all things new.
Thank you, Anne. We light our chalice this morning with Unitarian Universalists all around the globe. I invite you to call into your heart the flame you kindle this morning, the flame of hope, of truth, of love, of commitment to justice. Please join me in reciting our chalice lighting words, which can be found on the laminated sheets in the backs of your pews. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. Each week we recite our children's affirmation as a reminder of the most important elements of who we are. I have many helpers who are so excited to come up and join me this morning. Good morning, everyone. We are Unitarian Universalists, the Church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Thank you all for your help. We are going to rise in body or in spirit and sing our opening hymn, number 1018, in your teal hymnal. Come and go with me. We will sing verses 1 and 3.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly, the RE coordinator here. My pronouns are she, her, and I would love for all the kids to come up and hear a story if you'd like. You can come on and sit up front, and anyone else who would like to come hear a story is welcome. Come on, friends. You could do it. Hey, Charlotte. Good to see you. Hey, Ethan. So glad you all are here today. Today is Social Justice Sunday. So, who can tell me what is social justice? I don't know. Anyone have an idea? What is social justice? Social justice is the idea that we are all responsible for each other. It is everyone's job to make sure that all people are treated fairly and are respected. So I have a story for you today that was recommended by our friend Suzanne Sullivan. It's called The Last Stop on Market Street by Matt De La Pena. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipping down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. Can everyone take a deep breath, pretend to smell the rain? He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, bye, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for ya." The bus creaked to a stop. Can anyone make that sound? Creak! It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. Thank you. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear and placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped. Lurched forward and stopped. Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's see. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," Nana told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. A man climbed on with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "Well," the man says, "that's a fact. Their noses, too," he said, sniffing at the air. You can give a little sniff if you want. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Ha, 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 ha.
Just because they lost one sense doesn't mean they can't rely on their other.
Exactly. Yeah, you couldn't see, but he could smell and hear. Two older boys got on next, with headphones on. "Sure wish I had one of those," CJ said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask that man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered, "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed her eyes too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus and out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full as he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street." "Hey," Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around, and as he stepped off the bus, crumbling sidewalks, broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows, boarded up stores, he reached for Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what is beautiful." CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over the soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beauty where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came." He thought his Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." And that's the end. Yeah, it's a good one, right? Anybody have a comment they want to share about the story? What'd you think of it? Charlotte? Oh, you've heard this one. Nice. Anybody else have a favorite part? Yeah? When they see the rainbow. Yeah. Holly? When they played the music. Awesome. Kaylee? Yeah, when they played the music. I love when that happens on the subway or on a bus. In the story, I noticed that CJ and Nana worked towards social justice with lots of actions. There were moments when they helped each other, and also moments when people treated them with kindness. Can anybody think of any of those moments? Yeah? Yeah, the bus driver showed him a magic trick. That was really kind, welcoming. What do you think, Kaylee? What do you think?
When he gave a seat to the other one.
He gave a seat to somebody. Yeah, he got up for someone else. You're right. Yeah, love that. What do you think? Yes, CJ gave his penny to the musician. Exactly. He shared what he had because he was grateful for the music. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Gavin said Nana replaced his negative thoughts with positive thoughts all through the book. Exactly. Well, you all said a lot of the things that I was going to mention. Let's see. The whole story leads up to Nana and CJ going to the soup kitchen. Maybe they were going to give or volunteer. Maybe they were going to receive a meal. Both are examples of people living in a system where everyone helps each other. Before they even got there, Nana noticed how the trees, just like the people, needed water, and she appreciated the rain. The bus driver, the people on the bus were all so friendly to CJ. When the man who was blind made a joke, Nana laughed and what did she do? Do you remember? She squeezed his hand, knowing he couldn't see her, but this way he could feel her and hear her. When the musician on the bus played his guitar, all the people clapped for him after his song to show their gratitude for the music. And even though the area of town where the soup kitchen was dirty, CJ and Nana still went and still found the beauty, just like you said, Gavin. Social justice doesn't just happen on its own. That's why at church, we talk about all of the actions we can do to help our community and the world be more kind, respectful, and fair. Well, friends, thank you for listening, and it's time for religious ed classes. Let's get ready. Thanks, everyone.
Each Sunday, UUCR gives away half the money received in the collection plate to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. It's a simple yet powerful way for each of us to help heal the world. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of March is the UU Urban Ministry. The UU Urban Ministry is a social justice organization based at the former First Church in Roxbury. Its mission is to work across race and place to dismantle racism and white supremacy culture and to advance racial, social, and economic justice. It envisions a greater Boston where all people live with freedom and dignity and have equitable access to resources and opportunity to shape the present and the future. It provides workforce development programming, youth programs, arts and humanities programs. UUCR has a long history of supporting the urban ministry. Our members have taught ESL, tutored in after-school programs, helped with grounds and building cleanup, conducted practice interviews with college-bound youth, baked for holiday gatherings, and provided ongoing financial support. Our congregation survives and thrives through the gifts of those who call this place their spiritual home. If you are here in the sanctuary, you may put your gift in the plate as it goes by. Otherwise, you can make a gift online or even send an old-fashioned check. Please give us as generously as you are willing and able to our Share the Plate offering to support the UU Urban Ministry and the mission of UUCR. And if this is your first time with us, please let the plate pass you by. Your presence is gift enough.
Walk
Thank you, choir. Thank you, Bonnie. That was beautiful. Our prayer this morning is the poem Let America Be America Again by Langston Hughes. Written in 1936, this poem is relevant and necessary and powerful in new ways and in old ways. Please keep in mind that this poem was written in 1936, and some of the language that you hear is relevant in that time and not as much in our time today. But I invite you to take a breath, to center yourself, and allow these words to wash over you as a prayer for justice in this time.
Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great, strong land of love where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. There was never America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the waves, of satisfying need, of work the men or take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro servant to all. I am the poor, humble, hungry, mean, hungry yet today, despite the dream, beaten yet today. Oh, pioneers! I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, in every furrow turned. That's made America the land it has become. Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home, for I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand, I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today? The millions shot down when we strike? The millions who have nothing for our pay? For all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung? The millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. For those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again, America. Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, and yet I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the wreck and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies, we the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain, all the stretch of these great green states, and make America again.
Take another breath with me. As we allow those words to settle in our mind, our body, our spirit, I invite you forward to light a candle of joy, of sorrow, of hope. You are invited to come forward now.
Despite my overall seeming affability and what I believe and hope is a friendly demeanor, I am pissed off much of the time when I encounter the actions of the current presidential administration. I even woke up in the middle of the night recently feeling enraged by the leader's cruel and inhumane fascism. It's bordering on being sociopathic, sadistic, and narcissistic. The director of ICE declared that he would bring hell to Boston because the police commissioner dared to state that he would follow Massachusetts law regarding civil detainer requests. A few days ago, I read a column, "Winter is Here," on the chilling effect of Elon Musk and Donald Trump in WBUR's Cognoscenti weekly newsletter. The author, Rob Spielman, worries about the growing specter of self-censorship and references the words of Timothy Snyder in On Tyranny, a best-selling book for 36 weeks and counting. Snyder says, most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do. Anticipatory obedience is a political tragedy. Perhaps rulers did not initially know that citizens were willing to compromise this value or that principle. Perhaps a new regime did not at first have the direct means of influencing citizens one way or another. After the German elections of 1932, which brought Nazis into government, or the Czechoslovak elections of 1946, where communists were victorious, the next crucial step was anticipatory obedience. Because enough people, in both cases, voluntarily extended their services to the new leaders, the Nazis and communists alike realized that they could move quickly toward a full regime change. The first heedless acts of conformity could not be reversed, concludes that portion of Timothy Snyder's book. Spillman adds that this new administration now forbids the words kind and kindness along with DEI. Those plaques had to be removed from federal offices. Cruelty is the point, he says, of course. Punishing the most vulnerable while enriching the most privileged is their entire agenda. Normally, I wouldn't be calling out Trump and Musk from the chancel, but to avoid naming names, etc., seems to me to be anticipatory obedience. So what is an appropriate response grounded in UU principles? I heard a young activist online proclaiming that we don't fight back, we fight forward with a vision of a better world. But how does fighting fit in with leading with love? Righteous anger may be healthy and have a utility if it lends energy to our work, but it can burn brightly and then flame out. It is not sustainable. Underneath anger is often fear and even terror that can lead us to act in a stew of vengeance. Israeli-American professor Omer Bartov, a scholar of the Holocaust and genocides at Brown, essentially weighs into this idea of the legacy of a stew of vengeance. And he explains that the Israeli assault on Gaza was seeded by that country's apartheid occupation system. Even prior to Hamas's horrific attack on October 7, 2023, most Israelis had virtually no encounters with Palestinians, whom they have been taught to view as less than human, as animals that threaten their existence, that are ready to launch new holocausts. Israelis live in perpetual fear. That plus their racism has created a society where there is a license for brutal aggression towards the enemy. So is there light in this darkness? American singer-songwriter Josh Ritter has penned these lyrics in a song on his album that came out in 2010, and the song is called Lantern. Here are some of the lyrics. It's a hungry world out there. Even the wind will take a bite. I can feel the world circling, sniffing round me in the night. And the lost sheep grow teeth, forsake the lambs, and live with the lions. Where the living is desperate, precarious, and mean, and getting by is so hard that even the rocks are picked clean. And the bones of small contention are the only food the hungry can find. Be the light of my lantern, be the light. I need the light in my lantern tonight. In Archibald MacLeish's 1959 Pulitzer-winning and Tony-winning play, J.B., he adapts the story of Job for a modern era. So what could be darker than the story of Job, right? J.B. learns that there is no automatic justice in the world, that happiness and suffering are not deserved, and that people can still choose to love each other and live. In the play's final scene, Sarah explains to her husband, "You wanted justice, and there was none, only love." People will not find illumination or love from God, but in their own hearts. Sarah and J.B. embrace and then set to work tidying up the stage in the final scene. Earlier this year, Reverend Laura explained the power of broken hearts in their vulnerability to heal, to retain, and even expand our humanity, to lead with empathy, to lead with love, even to acts of courage despite our fears, inspired by MLK to act with the fierce urgency of now. We can't maintain our humanity. We can't engage in courageous acts without a supportive community like we have here at UUCR, where we light one another's lantern and blow on the coals of one another's hearts. We have way more work to do than tidying up the stage. Let's get to it.
Amen. Thank you, Bob. Part of the work of social justice is remembering and discovering the ways we are connected to the work the world needs. And another part of the work is remembering the ways all of us are connected. We can find our power when we recognize that all of us are connected, that all oppressions are connected, that all of our current crises are connected, There is power in this because we are able to identify both where we are in the midst of oppressive systems, both in how we can use our identities and power to make change, and how we identify with those who are most impacted by the issues of our world. In Fellowship Hall, you will see that we have a number of circles with the topics that are written down over here. These are topics that you all identified in the survey that Tirza and Bob and the Love as a Verb team sent out. These were the issues that were on your minds and hearts. So the challenge that I give to you today is to write down on a piece of paper, you probably received one coming in, if not, they will be in Fellowship Hall after worship. Write on your paper one or more of the ways that you are impacted by these issues. We'll then put those pieces of paper on the circles in Fellowship Hall so that we can share with one another and hold one another in a circle of care and connection. These might be large or small examples. The only requirement is that they are true and current in your life. So, for example, I am impacted by the climate crisis because I have been supporting my colleague whose church and congregation in Pasadena, California have been severely impacted by wildfires. I am impacted by current conversations about immigrant rights as I try to discern how our congregation might best support immigrants in our space, what it means that churches are no longer sanctuary spaces, and how we support and protect our staff who are not American citizens. I'm queer, and my queer and trans kin are losing the correct gender markers on their passports, figuring out how to leave the country, are living every day scared for their families, their children, their safety, and themselves. I invite you to write down what comes to your mind as you reflect on these topics. Then, during social hour, place your connections on the board so that we can witness our community's connections and hold one another in a circle of care and commitment to action.
Hi. We've called this Social Justice Sunday. How incredibly inadequate is that? We have assembled a group of you who decided to resurrect this church's social justice efforts dormant since COVID, because social justice is a foundational value, so how could we not have a social justice committee? However, in a very real way, this is not a committee. It is a team. And all of you, whether sitting here, watching online, or off doing other important things today, are members of that team, whether you know it or not. And one Sunday a month isn't going to cut it. There's a legend in Judaism that when the world was created, God made 36 righteous people. In Islam, it is 40, upon which the world depends. That in every generation there would be those 36 or 40. No one knows their identity. They don't even know it themselves. So it behooves all of us to act as if we were one of the 36 or 40 upon which the world depends. No pressure there, right? Lately, I've heard it said that we are living in the upside-down time, a time when everything we thought we could trust, laws, truth, compassion, kindness, safety, fairness, shared reality, the very future itself has been turned on its head. Of course, we know, as Langdon Hughes reminded us, that throughout our history, those trusted aspects of American life did not obtain for many people in our country and still don't. It is our attempt to change this that is the soul and substance of the work of justice. Those of us called to social justice work, a task that is frequently slow and difficult to achieve, have been stopped in our tracks, along with everyone else who possesses a shred of human decency, by the whack-a-mole on steroids new era we have been thrust into since January 20th. We have been overwhelmed by feelings of shock, rage, terror, sadness, profound grief, disappointment, and numbness. Did I miss any? Writers such as George Orwell, Margaret Atwood, and Octavia Butler appear not only to have been prophets, but their work blueprints for the dismal future that yawns before us. How do we continue to work on the already numerous challenges before us when the very foundations of our society, the bedrock upon which all our assumptions about how human interactions should maintain, are crumbling into a sea of cruelty and chaos? The institutions of our society are being dismantled brick by brick with glee and the promise of pain that will be good for us. Institutions which we have often fought against to make them more responsive to the real needs of real people, we are now in the position of fighting to preserve. Did you ever imagine you would find yourself defending the existence of the FBI? Seriously? Martin Luther King reminded us that the arc of history is long, but it bends toward justice. But what bends can be broken. We cannot allow the bend toward justice to break. We cannot allow history to break. How do we resist and at the same time persist? What can we trust to guide our actions? What force has existed throughout human existence on this planet that has allowed countless generations to defeat the forces of darkness that have threatened human life, indeed all life, since we climbed out of the trees? Love. The foundational value of Unitarian Universalism and a drive for which the human being is hardwired. How extraordinary that the English language, the largest in the world, has but one word for the drive which determines the fundamental experience of the human being. But love is not a force that exists on its own. Love and its partner hate, like life and death, two sides of the same coin, are in a dance. The partner that leads the dance is in ascendance. It claims the frame. And as the cognitive linguist and philosopher George Lakoff posits, wields the power. Right now, fear, wearing the raiment of hate, is leading the dance. Justice demands that love lead the dance. To do that, we must reclaim the frame. We must teach hate to step into love. Love is a verb. It calls us to act, to pray with our feet. Frederick Douglass said, "I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my feet." Thus inspired, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, "For many of us, the march from Selma to Montgomery was about protest and prayer. Legs are not lips, and walking is not kneeling, and yet our legs uttered songs. Even without words, our march was worship. I felt my legs were praying." Love commands us to find those areas and those ways in which we will act. The poet and philosopher Johann Wolfgang Goethe implores us, whatever you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. We have in each of us the power of thought to inform us, the power of wisdom to reassure us, and the power of love to compel us. I invite you to step into your power.
Y'all gave me goosebumps. Thank you for that. There are many announcements in our congregational life this week. I am going to have Melissa send them to you via email in the interest of time. The most important thing that I want to mention is that the memorial service for longtime UUCR member Christine Ritchie, who died last week at 101 years old, is here in the sanctuary this Saturday at 11 a.m. Please be sure to check your email for any other announcements. And now please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1028, The Fire of Commitment. The music has just been incredible today. Thank you all so much. Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. May we go forth into this week, into this month, into this administration, into our lives, doing the work of love and justice. May we hold one another in care and in community as we recognize the ways we all are impacted and we all have power. Amen.
Amen.